What's good, Josh? Your boy Barracuda. This is straight convo. Charlie Kirk, he was shot and killed today, and I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I didn't even know his name, honestly. I used to just see him on TV, and you know, he got pretty popular for debating college kids, and he was always like putting down blacks, like belittling black people and making it seem like we're the only ones that do this, and saying things like black people don't need reparations, and you know and things like the black on black crime is the biggest issue. They're 30% of the population, when that was debunked, when a lot of those are pretty much straight lies and propaganda that they spread to continue to uh have a reason or have an explanation for why they are racist and white supremacists, because every community, every race commits the same amount of crime. And there's so many categories where whites are extremely higher than blacks, and they just push this false narrative. He doesn't talk about how blacks are wrongfully convicted more than any other race, I believe 8 times higher. And it's hard to feel sympathy for someone who has no sympathy for my people. And for him to go around thinking that there's no responsibility for his people when it comes to repairments of my people from slavery. Because guess what? You say that, oh, you weren't the people, uh, your people didn't do it, it was your ancestors. But everything in life, there's a trickle effect. There's a cause and effect. My people are struggling because of slavery still to this day, and your people are benefiting. And it's pretty much, I don't understand how all of these guys are so intellectual. They have so much knowledge, but they cannot for the life of me understand the cause and effect of things. If you destroy the people and you never repaired it, there's always a domino effect. So they are intelligent enough to understand that if an animal they've been killing for years is going extinct, that maybe it did go extinct or it's about to go extinct, it's going to have a chain reaction on the environment, basically, because other animals need that for food. That specific animal could have been contributing something to its environment. For example, I'll give you an example. There was a fish I was watching in the ocean that basically went extinct, and that fish, when it when it uh when it made a bowel movement, it's um the minerals in the bowel movement would grow this particular plant in the ocean that help purify the ocean. I forgot what's the name of the fish. And because of that fish that went extinct, the ocean has become more dirty. And then it was a trickle effect. A lot of animals died because that was their food substance. The animals that ate the plants, the animals that ate that fish. So it was a whole chain reaction, a domino effect. And this is the reason why a lot of the oceans part of the world is dirty. So now, because of slavery, because of Jim Crow, because of white supremacy, systematic oppression, which systematic oppression, white supremacy never left the planet. All of that targeting blacks. You think it's not going to have an effect on our mental, our physical, and then all of these other hidden agendas and policies and tactics they were using to keep us down, and we still overcame. If you're going to talk bad, at least mention the good. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we have to be honest about these conversations. We shouldn't just be going around, oh, I don't need to do anything. Okay, if you don't need to do anything, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. And so like let me show y'all something real quick. So, he would say things like black people don't deserve reparations. How ignorant he was, and he probably knew this information when slave owners. So after the Civil War, the slave owners got reparations. So this is what I'm telling you. It's intentional what they've been doing in this country. Because even after slavery was abolished, they had sense enough they said, yo, we apologize for the war. This is what they told the slave masters. Because we won, here's some money. Here's some money. And guess what? When black people were free, they gave us not a penny. So reparations was actually given, and it was given to the slave owners. But they said we don't need it. So they have sense enough to understand the damages and how the past affects the future. I could have did one little thing. Let me give you an example. I could have robbed somebody, right? And that could have been his last $300. And I'm just thinking of it's just $300. But that person probably it was his last $300. He probably couldn't feed his kids. It probably gave him an emotional he probably became emotionally distressed. I don't know. His wife could have broke up with him. This is the domino effect. His kids could have starved. He could have became mentally unstable and lost it and became depressed. You know what I'm saying? And then his kids started to suffer. Maybe he killed himself because of that situation. His kids become depressed. His kids go into foster care. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm just creating scenarios. And this is real life. And all of this destroyed a whole generation and future generation of people because of that one little incident. Now, this is the worst atrocity that was ever committed, and we don't think there's a trickle effect, that there's no damages, there's no reason why people are struggling because of it. It's insane. It's insane. So now, why were the slave owners given reparations, but nothing to the slaves? Also, U.S. aids Israel in 4 charts. So, U.S. sends $310 billion to Israel. They send millions a year to Israel. Why is that? $3.8 billion per year through 2028. This is what they've been sending Israel. Nobody speaks about this, but black people don't deserve anything. But we can send money in aid, billions of dollars in aid to Israel. And guess what? The same Jews they love to say that never complain, the Holocaust survivors received. Germany has paid over 86 billion to victims. We have not gotten 1 cent. And this is what they do. They go online and they lie 24/7 because people don't know this. They don't know their history. Money, they understand, they have intelligence to understand that they need to repair the damages that was done to certain people. They understand this. But when it comes to you, all logic goes out the window. All sense goes out the window. They can't explain because it's white supremacy and racism. You know what I'm saying? So this is the problem I had with him. You know what I'm saying? And how can you sit up there every day and degrade black people every time you go up there? And then this is your hero? There was no justice for us. Don't talk about welfare. Welfare, first of all, the problem with welfare is this. You have to be poor to get it, and it's not It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. Anybody can get it. And plus, it was designed to keep black people at the bottom because you couldn't work and you could not have a male in a home working or in a home at all. So black women had to be single parents. That's the only way they can get it. How is that benefiting anybody? When you have this whole nation became one of the most powerful nations economically because of slavery. When slave masters was worth probably millions, when these banks got their financial start from, a lot of these banks got their financial start, the infrastructure in this country was built by slaves, universities, these buildings. You know, cotton was the #1 booming industry at the time, which made America one of the most powerful countries on the planet. The reason why the first stocks were black people, were in the fabric. This country was built on white supremacy. And they tell us we don't need nothing. We don't need a cent. But they give us welfare while they still operate everything that they accumulated from slavery. And this is the problem. This is the problem. And this is white supremacy. And I got to be honest. If we're going to have these conversations, let's have real conversations. Because white people don't want to give up the power or even share it. Not in an equal level. He wants to just take everything for himself and keep everybody, especially black people, at the bottom. Because there's no excuse, man. This is the facts. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, comment.